Once upon a time, there was a village full of pigs. One day, during dinner, a pig named Piggy felt unhappy. He stared outside the window to see what looked like birds flying in the sky. He began to try and imitate the birds by flapping his arms and legs. He realized he couldn't fly because he didn't have wings. He began to brainstorm and think of ways he could fly just like the birds. He rushed outside. He laid a ladder on the house and climbed up to the roof. He jumped off the roof and began flapping his arms and legs. He ultimately failed and was hurt. With determination, he goes back inside the house. He sees a kite and begins to think of a new idea. He brings the kite to the roof, and meanwhile the birds are still watching him. A strong wind blows, and he takes off with the kite. Holding on to the kite with his dear life, he flies through the sky. The wind stops carrying him through the sky, and he crashes to the ground. Piggy finds a cart behind his house. A new idea pops inside his head. He makes wings and attaches the wings to the cart, all the while the birds are still watching. He finishes and begins to move the cart. He sees a hill and begins to move the cart to the top. Piggy is nervous, but he looks calm and ready. With a push, he begins to ride down the hill. Gaining speed from momentum and gravity, he begins to taper off and reach the edge. He soars through the sky, and it almost seems like it's working. He's flying. He's actually flying. The cart stops and begins plummeting to the ground. The cart and Piggy crash into the ground. Piggy is left dazed and hurt. After recovering, Piggy walks home with his head down while the sun sets. That night, Piggy dreams he is one of the birds flying through the sky. The night turns to day. Piggy wakes up and immediately comes up with a new idea. He immediately rushes outside. The birds see him rush and follow him to the edge of the cliff. With one last hope, he begins to blow up several balloons. He attaches them to his arms and jumps. He's flying. He's actually flying. Suddenly, Piggy hears a big pop noise and realizes his balloons have popped. He begins to fall with a look of defeat in his face. He closes his eyes and awaits the inevitable crash. Suddenly, the birds group together and take on the weight of Piggy. Piggy opens his eyes and sees that the birds are carrying him off into the sky. Even after all his failed efforts, he is grateful that the birds are giving him the experience of flying.